Do I really regret buying this? Owning your dream car while you're young is so much better than you might actually think. Not only is it awesome to wake up every day and have this in your driveway, your garage, your parking lot, whatever, but this is a great networking tool at work too. People are gonna want rides, people are gonna talk to you about your car, and you can pull up to car shows, meet other awesome people, which is actually what we're doing today. That's why I got a cup of coffee. Cars and coffee, baby. And today we're gonna be talking about if you are ready to buy your dream car. Before we actually get into this video, I want you to comment, what is your dream car, down in the comments section. I'm gonna promise to reply to every single one of you guys, and if you have any questions about affording your dream car, I'll give my take on that. All right, you guys, so the main reason why I really wanted to make this video is because I kept coming across all of these Reddit posts of these 20, 21, 22-year-olds saying, here's how old I am, here's how much money I make, can I afford this Mustang GT or whatever car they're looking at? I'm 23 myself, and I pretty much just bought this, and I think I was pretty financially smart about it. I'm gonna lay out all of the rules for you guys, and honestly, you decide. You can stretch some of these rules if expenses in other parts of your life are a little bit lower. And again, like I said, feel free to comment below your dream car, and we can have a discussion about, you know, can this person afford it? You guys can give your intake as well. I absolutely love these conversations. Okay, so two very basic general rules for I'm financially smart. Well, there's levels to it. First of all, if you want to be the most financially responsible about your car purchase, then no more than 10% of your net worth should be invested into anything with wheels, any cars. So if you want a $40,000 car, your net worth should be $400,000. That is insanely unrealistic for 99% of the population, especially us car guys. I am a finance nerd by heart. And yes, I take the word nerd as a compliment because that means that you actually have done something with your brain, but I'm also a car guy. And so, you know, when you mix those two things together, you start to make some justifications that kind of do make sense. You'll see what I mean by the end of this video. But yeah, that's number one. If you want to be like very responsible, then no more than 10% of your net worth should be invested into cars. And I use the word invested kind of carefully there. Is a car an investment? 1% of the time it is, if you're very smart with your shopping. Now, the second rule, if you want to be like, okay, you know, I'm not Albert Einstein, but I'm still playing this pretty safe and smart, then no more than half of your annual take-home pay should be invested into cars. So again, if you want a $40,000 car, you should be bringing home after taxes about $80,000 a year. You know, that's more attainable for most people. Okay, so those are the two main rules. That's like very financially smart, and then that's like, I want to be safe, responsible, and smart. Now, like I said, these rules can be stretched. I have seen people on YouTube, that man just floored it. Could hear it from all the way inside the car. I have seen people on YouTube, probably the most insane example, I came across a guy who was making $15 an hour at a warehouse, and he financed a 2015 used Dodge Challenger Hellcat. Let that sink in for a second. You really don't need to make an insane amount of money to be able to afford your dream car. But again, you really, I say this as a car person, do not ruin yourself. When you get your dream car, you are going to get hold on. Let's roll on the windows a little bit. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's a cop about 100 feet behind us. Anyways, you know, yes, you can own a Hellcat making, you know, $2,500 a month. All you got to do is sign a 84-month, 12%, 15%, I've seen 20% interest rate loan, and they'll give you whatever you want pretty much. But please don't ever do that. Now, this is where, again, it gets very complicated in the discussion here. So I would recommend buying your dream car while you're young. People will talk to you that own other nice cars. It's a great networking opportunity. This thing makes me excited to wake up on Monday morning and go into work. Actually, let that sink in for a second. This car makes me excited to go into work, and I have become the #1 salesperson week over week in my company because I just bought this, and I know I'm gonna have to sort of, you know, recoup the money that I spent on this car. So this thing, as absurd as this is gonna sound, it's an indirect investment for myself. I doubt I would have been the #1 salesperson in the country for my company if I didn't buy this thing. I doubt I'd be super happy and excited to wake up on Monday to go into work because this thing's waiting for me to put the top down at 7 a.m. and drive into the office. And I think I have the coolest car. Somebody has a GT350, somebody has an M440i, but this is one of those cars that you just never see. I still have not seen one on the road. So I've made a video about regretting this because of the financial setback, but I also look at the other side and I say, if you yourself are thinking about buying your dream car, I mean, just carefully think it through, but look at all of the pros and cons, including, are you going to get a better job? Are you going to put yourself out of your comfort zone and recoup that money? What are you going to do to maybe so that the car makes you money? You know, listed on Turo? Are you going to start a YouTube channel? These are all things to consider. Because, you know, if you just buy the car and then nothing changes in your life, well, the only benefit is it's fun to drive for yourself. And maybe that's enough of a benefit. Again, you want to think that through. But at the end of the day, if you drive a car enough, it's going to become just normal and it won't feel special anymore. So keep that in mind as well. But here's, to continue the discussion we were on, here's where the big thing matters. Do you hate working? Do you hate a 9-to-5? If you hate it and you buy a car that is a bit out of your price range, in terms of those first two rules, all you're doing to yourself is ensuring that your life's gonna suck even more. It's gonna be good temporarily for the first few months that you own the car, but then you're gonna have years of setback. Personally, me, I don't mind the job that I have. I actually, oddly enough, love it because it's sales. And I don't know, I love sales because it's like an emotional roller coaster every single day. So this to me is like, you know, another thing to think about, like, what made me really justify this car is you can always sell it, right? I decided to pay cash for this thing because I don't want to be tied down through monthly payments. That's another thing. If you're gonna buy a car, think about, hey, should I just wait to pay cash? My best advice is yes. At the end of the day, if you can't buy a car in cash, then you can't afford it. Like, you're literally buying something that you cannot afford. You have to borrow the money to be able to get it. But again, there's also the side to think about. Well, I'm young, man. I want to own my dream car when I'm young. You know, I'm fine with monthly payments. I can squeeze it into my budget. That's where, you know, it just depends on how desperate you are to own your car. Again, do you have a plan to increase your income reliably? You know, did you factor in somebody just flashed my brights at me. Interesting. Did you weigh in the maintenance costs, the insurance, the gas, the depreciation over time? Because those things are going to basically take your monthly payment and almost 2x it. Now, 2x is a slight exaggeration, but if you want to play it safe, look at that. If you're looking at $600 monthly payments on like a BMW 330i, just 2x that. Expect to be doling out $1,200 a month, and if you still look at that monthly payment and you're like, yeah, I'm okay with that, then you're probably in a good spot. Anyways, guys, I'll stop yapping. We'll skip to the car show. See you there. All right, so let's start off with the first category of cars, and that's going to be the affordable fun category. These cars are going to range from $10,000 to $20,000, and there are a lot of good options in this category. NA Miata, a Mustang EcoBoost, a manual 350Z, some older Infinitis. This is realistic for literally everybody watching. I don't care what anyone else says about that. It's realistic for almost anybody. This is a great category if you just kind of want to get yourself into the car space, be able to pull up to car shows, get some attention, and, you know, love your car, because these cars are something to love. These typically, this is a little bit of a weird category because, you know, if you use that half of your annual income rule, you should be making at least $40,000 after tax to afford this. But in some areas, rent is super, super high. So, you know, could you actually make it off of a 40K income after tax and have a car on top of that? You probably want to wait till you can pay cash for this category, assuming you're dealing with the grocery prices and rent prices in today's economy. This is kind of a weird category, but again, I'd argue realistic, and just have a little bit of patience here. Now, next up we have the I Love Cars category, and it's called I Love Cars for a reason. The $20,000 to $40,000 price range opens you up to some absolutely amazing cars. A pristine C6 Corvette, you could get a Mustang GT. There are a whole lot of options here, whether you want to stay with a V6, if you want to step up to a V8, if you want to get something with a turbo in it and tune it up. The $20,000 to $40,000 price range allows for a lot of options. The only thing about this category is you're starting to splurge. You cannot ever justify a $20,000 to $40,000 car as a necessity. But this is where things really, really start to get a lot of fun for car people. In this category, you're gonna wanna have an after-tax income of around $70,000 to $80,000. Again, really what I'm assuming here is you're not out of control with like gambling or grocery spending or excessively high rent. That's for a different video. But assuming your expenses are just reasonable, then you're gonna want an after-tax income of around $70,000. Next up, we have the it's getting pretty serious category. That's gonna be cars between $40,000 to $60,000. And this is where you can get some awesome stuff. A clean, brand new Mustang Mach-1, a BMW M2, a 2018, easily in really good condition. And here we're going by the financially smart rules, right? Again, you could do a little bit of bending in your budget if you happen to always cook at home and never eat out and cook super affordable food. If your rent payment or mortgage payment is extremely low because you want to be conservative with your housing or apartment, but you're a car person, so that's kind of how we do things as car people, then it makes sense to go a little bit past that. Or if you end up actually saving up the cash or have the cash to either put an extremely large down payment on it or just pay cash entirely for the car, then again, you can stretch that rule of half of your annual income being invested into cars. So again, this category, you're gonna wanna be making around or above $100,000 a year after tax. Easier said than done. Next, and this is where I aspire to be, we got the entry-level supercar category. These are cars between $80,000 to $120,000, and the two that pop off right off the top of my head are gonna be a original Audi R8 or a Lamborghini Gallardo. Keep in mind, this is also where maintenance starts to get extremely expensive. So if you're gonna be pushing that 50% of your take-home pay rule here, just beware. Insurance and maintenance and gas mileage and all that is gonna get a lot more expensive than you probably have ever been used to before. So I would actually try to definitely stay within that half of your annual income rule or even significantly below that. Either way though, these are beautiful cars and I could justify getting one maybe a little bit too easily. You guys may see me do that in the near future. Then we have the supercar category, just a straight up supercar, anything above $200,000. These things are absolutely beautiful, and probably only about 1% of the population will ever get to the point where they can reasonably afford a car like this. But if you ever do make it to this point, I mean, all I can say is congratulations. You've pretty much made it in life. At this point, you're gonna want an after-tax income of above $400,000 per year. And when you put that into pre-tax numbers, you're looking at an income of around $700,000 per year, which is that's literally less than 1% of the population. There's a reason why supercars are not common. Then we have the simply you're just too rich category, and that's going to be anything above $500,000. And this is where you can get collectible cars that will actually go up in value most of the time. At this point, that's where the term the rich get richer, the poor get poorer come into play, because these guys are actually buying cars and they could literally resell them for a much higher value than they bought them for. One day we aspire to get there. But anyways, guys, let me know what your dream car is. Let me know which category your dream car falls into. Either way, hey, whatever price range you're at or want to be at, it's all a good time. At the end of the day, no matter what you get, if you're always chasing something better, well, I think that's a great mentality. But you gotta remember to appreciate what you have now, because otherwise, no matter what you get, you will never, ever, ever be happy with it. So learn to appreciate what you have, learn to appreciate the goals that you're working towards. Never ever stop working towards something better than what you have, because at that point you pretty much just retired in life. But anyways guys, appreciate you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.